Welcome to UCHL's Florida Days Media Luncheon. Our players, Sydney Omame, defensive lineman, quarterback Bart Williams, and head coach Matt Mitchell in the middle. Coach, if you can just kind of talk about the bye week, what went into the bye week and the schedule, and then we'll move on to Texas A&M Commerce.
Yeah, we got done with the game at Wayne State. Obviously, we were excited about that victory in the locker room, and at that point in time, being 11-0, we pretty much knew we were going to be guaranteed the number one seed even before the announcement on Sunday. So I was told the guys in the locker room we're 1-16, and this upcoming week we're going to try to focus on Grand Valley football. We're not going to work ahead. So I gave the players Sunday off, came in on Monday and lifted and kind of did our normal thing that we do post-game. Came out Tuesday. I thought we had a great practice on Tuesday. Credit to the players in our program, had great approach. We went good on good, ones-on-ones, offensively and defensively. Did a lot of situational football. It was very intense, very spirited, and handled it well. Wednesday, we came back, we lifted, watched a little bit of tape. And then Thursday went back out and had another good practice. Gave the players Friday and Saturday off, which allowed us as coaches to do some things in regards to recruiting. And then, obviously found out Saturday that Texas A&M Commerce was victorious over Colorado Mesa. Knew that was going to be the opponent. Came in on Sunday and had a practice. Again, I thought our guys handled that extremely well. And then, Monday, heading into Monday here is kind of their normal off day with the NCAA rules. So we're in the process as coaches of putting together a game plan. So able to balance, in my opinion, staying sharp, staying fresh, staying on edge a little bit, trying to work on our craft without beating our players up too much. And again, I thought our players handled the off week extremely well. Obviously, we'll see how things proceed this week, and the ultimate test will be Saturday at 1 o'clock. But the approach of our players up to this point has been awesome with this bye week. We got on the tape on Texas A&M Commerce. Obviously, the Lone Star champion, been the Lone Star champion here 3 years in a row. Coach Carthels, since he's taken over the job, has done a great job of kind of making that the top program in that conference. And we do have some history with Coach Carthel. He was an assistant with some West Texas A&M teams that we played. My first game as a head coach in 2010 was against West Texas A&M here at home, and then obviously a little bit later we faced, he wasn't on staff, but faced them in the playoffs in 2013. So, but this will be our first time, here recently, since 1991, that we'll have played Texas A&M Commerce, and looking forward to that challenge. When you take a look at their team, you start with the quarterback, Luis Perez. Very similar numbers to Bart Williams, 3,000 yards passing, really high TD to interception ratio, meaning he doesn't throw a lot of picks, has a lot of TDs, completing 65% of his passes, and you can definitely tell that system. He's very comfortable in that system. They do a really good job of mixing things up with him. He has not been sacked very much, and I think that's a factor of a few things. I think they do a good job with quick game. I think they do a great job with protection. They have some really big offensive linemen. They do enough play action and some boots and some things too, so he's not always in the pocket. And he also makes great decisions with the football. He obviously doesn't throw a lot of picks, and sometimes when there's pressure, he doesn't force things into bad windows. He tends to get rid of the ball, which kind of obviously gives him a chance to line up and play again. So very impressed with him on tape. What he's done, his resume at work here in 2016 is very impressive. It'd be interesting to see at the running back spot. I think I would assume based on the tape there's been some injuries here, and we'll see if anybody's back. I won't know that obviously until pregame warm-up, but have been able to effectively run the ball also. And in their defense, they're just a ball-hawking defense. When you look at the interceptions they have, and overall the turnover margin is extremely impressive. I think anybody who follows our program knows how much I value turnover margin and its correlation to victories. And they're number one in the nation in turnover margin. I don't think there's any coincidence, therefore, that they're one of 16 teams still playing here in Division II. So they have an active secondary that makes plays, whether it's tips and overthrows or making plays on the ball. They do a good job. And, they do a good job with their defensive line in their front, trying to give you some different looks and mixing things up. And they're not just going to stand there, and let's put some pressure on our offensive line. And then, obviously, special teams, they've got a guy that's leads the nation in punt returns for touchdowns and are very effective on the special teams end of things, too. So this is a balanced football team, offensively, defensively, and special teams. And we are a balanced football team, offensively, defensive, special teams. And, there's not one unit. When you look at one unit on either squads, that has a lot of, deficiencies. And so it's going to come down to, like, every other game, some turnovers, some field position, explosive plays, and at the end of the day, our players going out and getting a good game plan from the coaches and executing that game plan. So we anticipate a great game. I think, kind of crazy to say, we haven't played in Lubber Stadium in a month. It's been 4 weeks. We had the game against Findlay. We were on the road 2 weeks, and then we had the bye. So I know our players and coaches were excited to get back out to Lubber Stadium. Seems like a long time since we've been out there. And, it's really encourage, people here in West Michigan and our students and our fans come out and watch this game. I think it's going to be a great game. And weather's, forecast looks great for Saturday, especially this time, late November, and looking forward to it. So we'll focus on us here. It's kind of a unique week with Thanksgiving break. We have no classes at Grand Valley on Wednesday, so it provides a little bit more time. We'll practice Thursday morning, allow our players to have a little bit of time off to enjoy Thanksgiving Thursday and Friday, and then come back in with normal preparations Friday afternoon and get ready for the 1 o'clock kick. So that'll be our schedule the rest of the week. Questions?
Coach, with how much they throw the ball, do they compare to any teams you've played at all?
Great question. I would say from a schematic standpoint, there's some similarities to Findlay with Reese Gervais. Jason Moore was a first-team all-conference receiver from Findlay. I think that, Texas A&M Commerce has a few other guys besides just one guy. They could spread around a little bit more, but some similarities from 11 personnel and some 10 personnel and some of the things they do, and move the pocket once in a while, but also 5-step throw quick. I would say probably, that the Findlay team in general is one I could put an analogy on with their offense relative to Findlay's offense.
And Coach, we got some Michigan weather just this past weekend, and you said the forecast looks great, but should the weather turn south, and if there's any cold weather, do you think that gives you guys an advantage against a team from Texas?
I don't. I don't. Part of the reason is I think when you get to this point in playoffs with programs like this, I don't think they really care, and they're tough enough. They have enough grit. They have enough, this is win or go home. If you don't lose this, you lose this game, you're done. You pack up your stuff. If you're going to let weather, at some point, yeah, you get 50-mile-an-hour winds and downpours. It's going to affect the game, but I don't think it gives one team any much more advantage than another team, in my opinion, that way. So I think a lot of people in the past have made a lot to do about Texas coming up to Michigan and all that, but it's not like they're coming from the Bahamas, and they've had some weather down there too, and they'll good programs, good players, good coaches. They'll overcome stuff even if it's not exactly like it is down there. They're good enough, they'll overcome it. I don't make a big deal about the weather.
Matt, it seems like with all the speed that you have for players in southern states that these teams might be a little bit more oriented toward trying to outscore their opponents. Do you see that when you look at their tape? Do you see a general, a slightly greater interest in being more offensive than kind of a really tough, slug-it-out defensive type of team?
Well, if you look at their defense is very good down in that league. I think they only are giving up like 18 points a game. Yeah, 18.6 points per game allowed. We're at 17.5, and we try to consider ourselves a defensive unit. So they haven't really given up a whole lot. When you look at the way that they've made up their team, they're pretty good on defense. You don't have all those picks, and you don't have all those turnovers they've had, and not being somewhat a defensive-centric team. And unless I'm mistaken, their head coach was a former defensive coordinator also, and so there's similarities that way in terms of how they made it up. I would make an argument the reason they've probably won is because they are a little bit, really good on defense and what they've been able to do. So, I don't look at this team and see a team they're just going to throw the ball every down and whip it around and don't care how many points they give up. This isn't the Texas Tech of Division II. That's not the type of style that they play. They still play very good defense and special teams also.
Coach, Grand Valley's played in a whole bunch of tournament games over the years during Thanksgiving week. Just answer, is it a good thing or a distraction? And then I'd like the players just to tell me what they're doing on Thanksgiving.
Oh, I love it. I love playing on practicing on Thanksgiving morning and playing on Saturday Thanksgiving. The only negative is the Michigan high school football, playoffs are obviously this weekend, so sometimes that's a little bit hard, I know, for fans and things like that. But other than that, I think it's awesome. Having that Wednesday with no classes and Thursday and practicing on Friday. In my opinion, if we're doing it right at Grand Valley, we should be playing every Thanksgiving, and we have here, and recent history some, and it's kind of fun, to be honest with you. It's fun. I think we've always had on those Thanksgiving mornings we get up for practice. We've always had good juice, good energy. I think our guys enjoy it. It's different, and we just feel very fortunate. There's only 16 teams in America that are going to be practicing on Thanksgiving morning, and we're practicing to try to be one of 8 teams in America. And to have that opportunity, if you're not excited about that, then shame on you. And you'll probably feel that from our coaching staff too. But I'll let the players talk about that too.
I'll go. Thanksgiving, what am I going to do on Thanksgiving? Well, like Coach Mitchell said, it's always a privilege to be able to play on Thanksgiving. It's a blessing, really, to be able to play around this time of year. Most teams aren't playing right now. They can do whatever they want for Thanksgiving. But me being from Columbus, I won't be able to make that trip home. So I have a couple of options. Either, I have a couple of teammates that are doing some Thanksgiving things. Colin Schlosser doesn't live too far. I might go with Alton Voss. We also have Coach Mitchell has somebody that is having some food catered in. That's also an option. So, it's not like I'll be alone on Thanksgiving. I would actually rather be here playing in the playoffs than, to be eating dinner with my family. So, yeah.
The Thanksgiving break is awesome, especially not having classes at the end of the week and get to prepare more than you get to. You'll spend more time on tape. But, my mom recently moved to the west side of the state, so I'll be meeting up with her for Thanksgiving this Thursday, so that'd be nice.
This is for everybody. Can you guys talk about just what the bye week did as far as health for you guys, just kind of refreshing going into the playoff game? And then after that, favorite Thanksgiving food?
I'll obviously kick it off here. In regards to the health, I'll let the guys talk about, I guess, how they feel. For me, it's a little bit, my judgment on our health is kind of the injury report. We've got some guys that have missed some games, are back practicing. We're still, 5 days out from the contest, so I'm not 100% sure if those guys are going to be ready to go by game time, but at least there's some optimism that they're not done for the year. And for me, hands down, pumpkin pie, not even close.
Oh, well, yeah, the bye week was good. We're able to get some people back that were dinged up maybe. Also, it was good that we were just able to, focus on us as a program instead of worrying about, what other teams were doing. We made that a focus to not really worry too much about, the teams that we are potentially going to play because we didn't know who we were going to play, and really just focusing on the details and getting better at what we do at Grand Valley. And favorite Thanksgiving food, that's really hard. I like them all, so I'm just going to leave it there. I like them all. Yeah.
I think the bye week was big for getting back, and someone who's not a weight room all-star to get forced to actually go in the weight room and get some stuff done and keep my body right. I think that was big for everybody. We lifted pretty hard last week, and on Sunday we got in the weight room too, and those practices were good. Getting out there and, like Sydney said, just focusing on Grand Valley football and getting the details figured out, and getting team chemistry going and. Out there and not having to worry about a game plan, just going out there and playing. And, it was a lot of fun. And favorite Thanksgiving food, I got together with some friends yesterday and had some Thanksgiving dinner, and I'd never had green bean casserole before, and that was pretty good. But I'm with Sydney. I like them all, honestly. But green bean casserole is a dark horse for me.
Okay, tickets are available. The game will be played 1 p.m. on Saturday, November 26th in Leber Stadium. And you can get tickets online or by calling the Grand Valley Ticket Office. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.